As humans, we are part spirit and part physical. The part of us that is non-physical, that is spirit, has the capacity to perceive more of a complete picture of ultimate reality than is possible with merely the use of our physical senses. We exist in a lower dimensional vibrational frequency, where large segments of a higher dimensional reality are hidden from our limited five senses, presumably because it would overwhelm us if we were to actually see the invisible dimension that is all around us, and especially the spirit beings interacting with us and affecting our personal world. But until we are translated into a more inclusive, multidimensional space upon death of our physical body, let's just go along with it for now, until we're released from sensory limitations and provided with the full story of who we are and why we're here. For those of you who don't wish to wait that long, you can get full details now by reading the 1611 King James Bible. Yes, we occupy a three-dimensional space, but it's not all there is. It's actually a very small piece of the vast complex that we are immersed in. This world is observable by our senses, but there's much more. In the same manner that visible light is only a tiny portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, our experience with the apparent world about us is limited to only what we can see with our eyes, hear with our ears, touch with our bodies, smell with our olfactory sense. The part of us that is spirit, however, can extend these senses to include a broader range of sensory input, and that is made possible by spiritual discernment, which is only available from God Jesus Christ. Few of us are aware that there is an extensive dimension that coexists with our physical universe and is not visible to our common experience. Occasionally we get a glimpse of it, but usually it's not accessible to us. Yet our spirit being is immersed in it. It's all around us. We can only perceive the manifestations of another higher dimensional reality, but we cannot usually see the causal factor originating those manifestations. There are beings much different from ourselves in that individual realm. Most of them are malevolent and intend to do us harm. They're watching and waiting for us to transgress the laws of God so they can claim whatever part of us was involved in the transgression. That's the world we inherited. You cannot, by the force of your will or denial, change that dimensional construct. And if you're ignorant of how all this operates, that's very dangerous, because in that higher dimension they play for keeps, and the stakes are your eternal soul. Think of it as a four-dimensional football game, and your soul is the football. At one end of the field is the home team, the good guys. At the other end of the field are the nastiest players you'll ever meet, and they play dirty. They don't play fair and will do anything to trick you into believing that they're actually the good guys, and the home team are the bad guys. They're legalistic in the way they assess human behavior, and are always looking for ways to create conflict, hardships, distress, death. They can be characterized by a rigid adherence to God's immutable laws, and will use any human transgression of those laws as a pretense to afflict the ignorant soul. Down on the earth playing field, there's a crowd of people in the grandstands, all shouting and yelling at the same time, and none of them know what they're shouting and yelling about, or even why. And then there's the cheerleaders, pretty people dancing a jig on the sidelines, hoping to entice you to cheer along. Get into the spirit of things. Root for your favorite team. But they're just shills, and were put there by the controllers of the game, who are sitting out of view, up in the press box, videotaping your every move, watching you, studying you, looking for any weakness so that they can accuse you, exploit you, attack you, make merchandise of you, planning and strategizing on how you can be taken captive and destroyed. It's a game that's being played all over the world, millions of times every second. Very few people ever come to the realization that they're living in a game. And if they do understand what life is all about, they have no consciousness that it's all being staged, and they are a pawn. Some would say this is a cruel trick that's being played on us. But is it really? How would you go about determining that someone is your friend? By taking their word for it? Or would you instead provide them occasion where they have to prove it? Place them in uncompromising situations. Make them choose between good and evil. After all, it's easy to say you're on the winning team when things are going well. There's points on the scoreboard. The other team is losing and looking foolish. But what about when you're losing? When everything is against you and everyone is your enemy? You cannot know who your true friends are except in adversity. And then someone from the other side approaches you and proposes making a deal. It sounds good. He or she says you can play on their team and enjoy all the benefits of what it's like to be a winner. All the privileges of champion status. The good life. And all you have to do is turn your football soul over to their team and play on their side. It all seems so easy, fun, and profitable too. But there's just one problem with their terms. They keep your soul. And you can't have it back. And they can do anything they want to you, anytime, anywhere. It might be fun for a while, but when the game is over, you will have lost your football soul, and the game will be won by the other side, the real good guys. But you're not on that team. Oh, and there's another problem. The other team, the real good guys, they have never lost a game. And furthermore, it's impossible for them to lose. But you weren't told that when you made the decision to play on the other side. You weren't told that it wasn't just a game. It was a test.